message is don't let your smartphone dominate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could be a god and have supernatural power to fly, be invisible, and be able to control time whenever you wanted to, do you think you'd ever get sick and tired of living the same old life? In the small world called smartphone, every one of us can be a god who can do whatever he or she wants. So people can now do office work, play games, and access to data and information immediately with their smartphones. So with smartphone, people can bring great productivity in their lives by saving time and energy. But because of its great advantages, and therefore, people become dependent on them. They start to care about their smartphones more than their real lives. And that is what makes smartphones to have detrimental effects on our society. Fascinating and mind-capturing applications and its functions are making people to become addicted to the device. So smartphones were made to improve the welfare of the people, but paradoxically, its effects on the people and the society are quite the opposite. So far, smartphones have changed the way people live. Since looking at smartphones anytime and anywhere has become the norm in our society, it is very natural for people to become addicted to the device. According to a government survey, smartphone addiction rate among teenagers in South Korea is 18%, which is twice more than the addiction rate of the adults. Smartphone addicts spend about 5.5 hours a day on their smartphones. Most is spent on playing games, watching videos, and leaving comments on social networking sites. And they do these kinds of things while on the move, in doctor's office, in the toilet, and even while taking showers. So 5.5 hours is a long time, but they're not doing anything productive with their smartphones. They're practically wasting their time on the device, although they can get everything they need right in the palms of their hands, and smartphones make them work less. So like this, I think smartphones have taken away the values of our lives. And they have become a crucial part of everyday life. But do they really play an essential role in our lives? According to NQ Mobile, parents' primary concerns for their young mobile users is their children using their devices at times when they should not be using them. Many other concerns expressed by the parents are associated with smartphone addiction and the welfare of the children. It indicates that welfare of the children cannot be assured with their smartphones around them all the time. They hardly study and do not get enough sleep because they are always busy with their phones. Before the invention of smartphone, we used to put our time and energy into building lasting relationships with our friends and family. We thirsted for knowledge, but there was no need to know the answer to everything right away. There was value in working through a problem. We took the time to enjoy the world around and tried to live in the moment. But now, it's no secret that smartphones have penetrated deep into every part of our life. And if this continues, people will forget the value of their lives, since all they care about is their smartphone, their goals, their relationships. The things they care about can be lost with society's obsession with smartphones. I think there's no doubt that smartphones help us perform tasks faster and easier with incredible efficiency. However, our lives should not be centered around it. Addiction to smartphones takes individuals away from the actual experiences of life. As long as we let our smartphones to interfere in our lives, smartphone addiction rate will continue to rise. But we can use the technology we have at our fingertips in a way that is useful without letting it become a problem. So, to prevent the worst case scenario and to pursue the kind of life that we hope for, we should not become slaves of smartphones. Rather, we should become the owners of smartphones. Thank you.
This is the end of Namin Lee's speech. Judges can ask questions to the speaker.
I have a question. You say that smartphones were made to improve the welfare of people. Do you really think that Apple, Samsung, and LG created smartphones to make society better? Or did they really create these products to sell you something that, as Steve Jobs has often said, I can sell you something that you don't really need?
I think, although those developers of the smartphones are, making the products because they, for the commercial and to earn money, but I think this application developers, they're different. They're trying to make people, give them some convenience so that they can, of course, sell more apps, but endless and limitless applications can also help us to live our lives with more quality. So I think smartphones can be a tool to improve the welfare of people, I guess.
Okay, second question. You say that 18% of teenagers in South Korea are addicted to cell phones, smartphones. Is that an indication that they are making society better if there's such a high addiction rate to that product?
I'm sorry, can you?
Sure. You also said that in South Korea, 18% of teenagers are addicted to their smartphone. So going back to my first question about are smartphones really designed to create a better environment for society? Your 18% is saying no, that's not true.
I think the way people using their smartphones are wrong, because I think the most productive and the most effective way to use our smartphone is to reduce the time that we spend on unnecessary things like watching YouTube videos, listening to music, and playing games. I think to use the smartphone productive, we should spend our time on the things that are only necessary. But especially teenagers, they're not using their time effectively in that way. They're just kind of wasting their time to get entertained. So I think smartphone itself can be a tool to really improve the welfare of the people. But teenagers are very vulnerable to those things that are very addictive. So I think that if parents, of course, help them to use their smartphones right, then I see that there would be some improvement